2015 was one of the most challenging, but at the same time the best year of my life. This little community here has grown quite a bit over the last few weeks, so I just wanted to give you guys a recap of what happened in 2015 and at the same time what happened since the beginning of my vlog. We started our year with a vacation in Bali. I got us cheap business class tickets on Qatar Airways that only cost around $1,000. In Bali, I actually got the idea to start my own vlog and my own YouTube channel, talk about entrepreneurship and all the challenges and ups and downs. Once we had gotten back from Bali, we straight away started a 28-day nutrition and workouts plan. My first vlogs mainly consisted of me sitting in my car talking to the camera about business and seemed very clumsy, but I had to learn. Mad editing skills though. Oh, and here I almost broke my hip trying to show off for the camera. Right from the beginning, my blog pushed me to do more interesting things and have more fun. Like this spontaneous one-day road trip to Venice. Right after our trip to Venice, our first business meetings in New York were scheduled, so I got us some cheap tickets on business class to New York. New York was freezing cold and covered in snow. Business in Austria didn't stop, so we had to use every single minute we didn't have meetings for work. It was such a crazy feeling when we had our first meeting in Wall Street in the Trump building. When we got back from New York, a really cool band filmed a music video in our coffee shop. We were working like crazy in 2015. I think we maybe had one free day every month on average. One of the hardest moments in 2015 was when our cat, Barney, passed away in May. Remember that time I almost set our house on fire? I was so excited to get my first 100 subscribers. In May, we also embarked on our fourth trip of the year to Turkey to visit a friend's wedding. This was also the time that we introduced breakfast and brunch at the coffee shop, which really helped the business grow. Around that time, our agency was working on a project in the Hofburg, one of Austria's most important historic buildings. I couldn't help but pennyboard through it. They were not amused. We spent so many late nights at home working for the agency because we just didn't have time during the day to get everything done. But we were preparing for our next trip. Our next trip to New York didn't start off well. Our first flight was delayed, so we had to run through all of Frankfurt airports to get to the plane on time. But we still made it on time and got to enjoy our flight in business class that again was cheaper than economy. This time the weather in New York was gorgeous and it just made the city so much more enjoyable. It was an exhilarating feeling to sign our documents and found a new company while in Trump building in Wall Street in New York. Once we sorted out our business in New York, we took off to Miami and rented a gorgeous red Mustang convertible. This was our second trip to Miami, and this time we really fell in love with the city, and it reassured us that this is the place we want to start the new business. Miami totally changes the way we feel, and everything is more relaxed. It didn't take long and we started making new friends. We also found a place that we could call home. But we still had a lot of work to do, so we headed back to New York for a short weekend before we flew back to Austria. When we got back home, we adopted little Willie, so Stewie, our other cat, wouldn't be so lonely. He didn't quite appreciate the gesture. After our return, I had my first television interview, which aired shortly after. Then started the crazy month of the interns, which was really fun to have young people around us. We spent the whole summer working for the coffee shop and the agency, making sure that we have a foundation for the next trip to Miami. This time I would travel to Miami by myself because business was too heavy in Austria. Once again, at the beginning of a trip, Austrian Airlines let us down and we had an emergency landing back in Vienna. British Airlines saved the day and I could travel further to Miami in any case. It was amazing to finally move into our new apartment, and it took me only one day to get everything furnished and decorated. These are my friends Jenny, Carlton and Paul at our housewarming party. Life at the beach is amazing, but I couldn't enjoy it by myself, so I made sure that Jackie hopped on a plane and joined me 2 weeks later. We had a blast at Halloween, and after Jackie left, I made sure that I focused on sport and fitness to stay in shape. In my last week in Miami, I went to a YouTuber meetup, which was really awesome. I then returned to Austria in British Airways' gorgeous business class. Back in Austria, I held a few barista courses, and before I knew it, Christmas was here. I had to break into my own basement to get to the Christmas tree decoration. We spent Christmas and New Year's Eve with the family. As we don't need our office anymore, we had to move all the furniture and repaint it before returning the office on the 30th of December. And that was it, guys. It is now the first week of January, and next week on Monday we are going to be traveling to Madrid. On Tuesday we're going to be flying further on to Lima in Peru, where we'll be exploring the area, and after that we're going to be flying to Miami, where we'll be staying until the end of February. I have a few big announcements I want to tell you guys about, but you'll have to wait till next week because it's still kind of undercover. I hope you enjoyed this recap of 2015. Be sure to subscribe. A lot of awesome stuff is happening right now and you don't want to miss out on it. I will see you guys in the next vlog. Remember to stay awesome, be positive, and make it happen.